taking a really close look at a brand new travel guitar here in my studio by Journey Instruments. This is the OF-420, one of the guitars you should have on your list of travel guitars if you're looking for a good travel guitar. So one of the main features of this guitar is the fact that the neck comes off. So right out of the gate, it's pretty much going to blow everything else out of the water as far as size when it's all packed down. This is easily one of the smallest instruments in its case that I've ever seen. That's, you know, not a mandolin or a ukulele or a harmonica, people. Let's not go crazy. Anyway, this guitar, it's a small bodied guitar, okay? So it sounds just like a small bodied guitar should. If you put this up to other travel guitars, this will be in the upper range as far as tonal stuff. It definitely sounds a lot better than most travel guitars do. However, it's a small bodied guitar, right? So don't think you're getting this like natural dreadnought sound. You're getting a small body guitar, and this is what they sound like. They tend to be a little bit, you know, on the boxier side, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a style of the guitar. I like about the guys down at Journey Instruments is that they're engineers with like brains. You know what I mean? They're not the kinds of engineers that like put you know, a battery so deep in a car that when you need to change the battery you have to remove the radiator or something. You know what I mean? There are engineers who do stuff out there. If you do your own work on your motorcycles or your cars or whatever, you're like, God, these engineers don't think very much. That is totally not the case from the people at Journey Instruments. These things are extremely well engineered. This neck locking system is really simple. Really easy to deal with. I mean, it's unscrewing the big wing nut and then you hit a button, the thing clicks out. It goes in as easily as it comes out. It is very well designed. The other thing that's really nicely engineered on this guitar is the neck itself is incredibly stable. I have a few other travel guitars, including another Journey Instruments. This guy right here, the RT410, great little guitar. And I also have a Baby Taylor. Of the three, this one has the most stable neck. And right now in Philadelphia, where I live, the seasons are changing from summer into fall. So we've had a dramatic temperature shift, we've had a dramatic humidity shift, and this guitar hasn't shifted at all. Whereas pretty much every single guitar that I own has done a little bit of, you know, oh, the neck's a little this or neck's a little that because of the season change, right? Totally normal. But this has been engineered to not do that nearly as much, and it's obviously been done that way, and it works. I mean, if you're traveling, right, you're going to be going up to 30,000 feet or whatever. You're going to be flying up to high altitudes and different temperatures and different humidities. All these kinds of things will affect your guitar as you travel with them. So it's nice knowing that you have a nice stable one. Now, like I mentioned before, I do have another Journey Instruments guitar, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because one of the things that has surprised me about this guitar is that, okay, let's first say this. When I got this RT410 first, years ago, it looked like this, nice and white on the top. You can already see how much the top is aging, but what has really surprised me is how much this guitar has opened up in such a short period of time. I have lots and lots of guitars here. I get lots of guitars for reviewing and stuff, so I have lots of new guitars, you know, delivered here, and over time, I get to sit around and listen and experience them as they age. This thing right here, the RT410, has opened up. It is, I mean, here, let me play it. I know it's a review for this guitar. Sorry, guys, but it's just, you guys, listen to this. I mean, mean, this thing, go back and watch my original video of this guitar. It has opened up, the low end has come out so much more than I ever anticipated that it would. It's just a really impressive thing. The whole point of what I'm saying is that this guitar will pretty much do that as well, and I'm very excited for that time to come. It's nice that it doesn't take as long as some of my other guitars. It does have something to do with the satin finishes that are a little bit thinner, you know, than like a thick lacquer or something. These guitars really open up nicely, so I'm really excited to hear what it sounds like in a year or two as I travel with it. And to be honest, they weren't this far apart when that one was new. This one was a little bit, you know, it had very similar tones. They're both smaller body guitars with MANZER wedges, all that kind of stuff. Now it does come with its own proprietary pickup inside of it, which if you haven't ever heard one of these Journey instrument pickups, they are super, super good, you guys. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna grab a cable and plug this in and just let you hear it really quickly. All right, so no EQ, no compression, just the cable going right into GarageBand. Really great tone out of this pickup. I have taken this guy, the RT410, to a bunch of open mic nights and stuff and just regular gigs. By far, more people have complimented this guitar than pretty much anything. I have Martins. I have such nicer, more expensive guitars, you know? But this little thing gets the most comments as far as tone when it's plugged in at a bar or at a gig or something. Yeah, these pickups, you guys down at Journey, once again, nailed it. This is a really good pickup. Anyway, I think I've talked about the pickup enough. The other couple, let's talk about one more thing that I haven't mentioned yet. There's a little string guide here, so when you do take the neck off, it keeps the strings in place and they don't come off of the headstock and the tuning posts, right? Also helps them stay in the nut. If you do get one of these guitars and when you are putting it all back together, you get the neck on, make sure you really tighten this all the way down to make sure that it's, you know, sitting right against the body, and then also make sure that the strings are back in the nut. The string guide does a very good job of keeping them in a general area, but yeah, you just make sure they're in the notches in the nut when you put it back together. Pretty simple thing to do. Overall, very nice guitar. Of course, you know, you've been looking at shots of me here on my motorcycle and stuff. I do want to shout out to any of you out there on motorcycles with guitars on your back. You guys know what I'm talking about. The neck sticking up super high creates drag, and anytime you get over, like, let's say call it 25 to 35 miles an hour, that thing just starts pulling you back, and it is a pain in the patoot to ride with a regular guitar neck over your head. Not only do people like, hey, there's a guy with a guitar on his back on a motorcycle. I've had people throw bottles of water at me on my motorcycle because I had a guitar on my back or something. I don't know what was going on there. But this guitar in its case on my back doesn't even look like a guitar, so it's super easy to ride with, doesn't get in the way of your helmet or any of that kind of stuff. Really nice guitar, very functional. For a travel guitar, perfect. It's a perfect little travel guitar. It sounds good, it plays good, it's really nicely built, and as time goes on, I thoroughly expect this to only get better, like a acoustic guitar should. So you guys down at Journey Instruments, really nice work down there. Thumbs up. Bunch of really good engineers down at Journey Instruments making good guitars that you should all check out. It's also one thing I'll say, last thing I'll say about the neck nice and medium width, right? It's a medium width, so it's good for finger picking and it's good for strumming with a pick. You can do both very easily. It's not one of these guitars where the neck is so wide that you can't, you know, use a pick and get, you're not searching for the strings when you're, you know, slamming a ripping solo or whatever. This guitar would be great on the road. This guitar will be great around a campfire. This guitar will be great in an overhead bin on an airplane, on the back of your motorcycle or your bicycle or wherever you may be traveling to. Definitely make sure that you take the time to investigate the OF-420 from Journey Instruments. You guys, it's a great little guitar. Not much to say else about it. You should check it out. It's a great guitar. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, please hit the subscribe button. Big thanks to Journey Instruments for sending this guitar to me. And of course, thank you to my patrons who make all the videos here on GarageBand and beyond totally possible. If you're interested in becoming a patron, please check out my Patreon page. There are lots of great rewards over there. My favorite one is mix notes for anybody in the process of recording and in a mixing process, right? You can send me your mixes while you're doing it, and I can give you some notes on it on how to improve your mix before you send out the final one. So check out patreon.com/GarageBand and beyond for details on how to become a patron, because that's cool and that's what makes my channel survive. So you guys have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.